Are you as interesting as you look, or should I keep scrolling?
Have you ever met someone who seemed too good to be true? That's what Dylan thought when he met Emily. She wasn't just beautiful, she was magnetic. Her laugh, her eyes, even the way she moved. It all seemed like something out of a dream. But dreams can turn to nightmares, and Dylan would soon wish he had never swiped right. It started 6 months ago. Dylan had just moved to a new city for work, far from friends and family. Loneliness crept in like a thick fog, so he turned to dating apps. When Emily's profile appeared, he was instantly hooked. Her photos were stunning, but it was her bio that caught his attention. Looking for something real. No games, just connection. She messaged him first, which felt like a win. Her opener? Are you as interesting as you look, or should I keep scrolling? Their first date was perfect. Emily chose the spot, a dimly lit bar tucked away in an alley, the kind of place that didn't seem to exist until someone like her invited you. She knew the bartender by name, ordered Dylan's drink before he even opened the menu, and laughed at all his jokes as if she had known him forever. By the end of the night, Dylan was smitten, but things started to feel off. Emily never spoke about her past. Every time Dylan asked, she dodged the question with a playful smirk. Her phone never buzzed, not once during their time together. She didn't have social media. It's a distraction, she said, brushing it off. At first, Dylan admired how present she was, but then there were the little things, like how she always insisted on meeting at her place or neutral spots, never his. One night, Dylan tried to surprise her with flowers. When he arrived at the address she'd given him, it wasn't a cozy apartment or house. It was an old building that looked like it had been abandoned for years. Windows boarded up, graffiti scrawled on the walls. He double-checked the address, called her. No answer. Confused, he left the flowers at the door and went home. The next morning, Emily texted, "Thanks for the flowers. You're so sweet." Then came the nightmares. They began about 3 months into their relationship. At first, Dylan thought they were stress-induced, but every night it was the same. He'd see Emily standing at the foot of his bed, her eyes wide and unblinking, her face pale as the moon. She wouldn't speak. She wouldn't move. She just stared. He'd wake up in a cold sweat, his heart pounding. But when he reached out to her about it, Emily only laughed. "You've been watching too many horror movies," she said. One night, the dream escalated. Emily wasn't just staring. She was whispering. Her lips moved rapidly, but the words were incomprehensible, like a language Dylan had never heard. Her voice was low, guttural, and filled with malice. He woke up gasping for air, and when he looked at his phone, there was a message from her. "Miss me?" Dylan became obsessed. He started digging into Emily's life, desperate for answers. He Googled her name, searched public records, even asked around the places she frequented. But it was like she didn't exist. One night, after hours of searching, he found something. An old article from 2014 about a young woman who went missing under mysterious circumstances. Her name was Emily, and the photo in the article, it was her. His heart raced as he read the details. Emily had been last seen leaving a bar with a man. Witnesses described her as charming, but off, like she wasn't quite real. The man was found days later, his body mutilated beyond recognition. The case was never solved. Dylan confronted her. He asked her point blank, "Who are you? What are you?" Emily didn't deny anything. She simply smiled, her head tilting slightly to the side.
You were lonely. I gave you what you wanted.
That night, Emily disappeared. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. But the nightmares didn't stop. If anything, they became worse. Dylan started seeing her everywhere, in reflections, in crowds, in his dreams. She was always there, watching, waiting. Months later, Dylan moved back to his hometown, hoping to leave the memories behind. One night, as he was scrolling through a dating app, a new profile caught his eye. The bio read, "Looking for something real. No games, just connection." And the first message?
Are you as interesting as you look, or should I keep scrolling?